Ever get that feeling like we're not alone out there? Like maybe, just maybe, there's something else out there in the vast universe.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, today we're diving into one of the most talked about UFO incidents in history, the Kingman UFO Crash.
That's right. One of the most documented UFO events ever. It's kept people guessing for over half a century.
So are you ready to explore some eyewitness accounts?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
All right, so let's set the scene. It's May 21st, 1953, in Kingman, Arizona.
Okay.
A rancher, Bill Grainer, claims he saw a metallic disc flying super low.
Wow.
Around the same time, a truck driver, Frank Costigan, reports seeing this huge flash and explosion. And it doesn't stop there.
No.
Other people reported seeing some serious military activity around a supposed crash site.
What's so fascinating about this incident is the level of detail in these accounts. People describe the object as round and shiny, and they even talked about this strange debris being loaded onto military trucks. Really paints this vivid picture, but it also raises a big question. How reliable are eyewitness accounts?
That's a great point. I mean, after all, this was over 70 years ago.
Yeah,
Memories can fade, emotions can distort details.
absolutely.
How do we actually separate genuine observation from the stories we tell ourselves over time?
That's the million-dollar question. You've hit the nail on the head. Eyewitness testimony can be really tricky, and even more so with cases like this.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Fear, excitement, and just the sheer strangeness of the event can influence what people remember.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a moment and look at how the government responded, because their actions, or maybe inactions, really added fuel to the fire.
Oh, yeah. The government response is almost as intriguing as the event itself. The military swoops in, secures the crash site, removes any potential evidence, and then what's their official explanation?
A weather balloon.
Just a weather balloon. That good old weather balloon excuse.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. Does that explanation hold up when you consider all those eyewitness accounts we just talked about? I mean, why do you think people remain skeptical after all this time?
I think it's natural to be skeptical when something seems so quickly dismissed.
Sure.
Especially when, let's be honest, governments don't always tell us everything. But here's the thing. Declassified documents do show that there were investigations, but no concrete proof of aliens was found.
That's true.
So where do we go from there?
Well, it raises an interesting point about government secrecy. What information gets shared, what gets hidden, and why. It all plays a role in how we perceive these events. But the lack of definitive answers, regardless of government involvement, has led to a whole bunch of theories about what really happened in Kingman.
Oh, the theories are wild. Everything from a crashed alien spaceship to secret military experiments.
Oh, yeah.
And even some folks suggesting time travel or dimensional portals.
The variety is astounding, isn't it? What's fascinating is that the lack of a clear explanation allows these theories to flourish. Let's take the idea of the crash being part of a larger pattern of UFO activity, suggesting a coordinated effort by extraterrestrials. That's a popular one.
Right, like aliens are systematically checking us out. I mean, it's a concept that really taps into our fascination with the unknown and the possibility of life beyond Earth.
Precisely. Then you have theories about the government staging the whole thing, maybe to gauge public reaction to a potential extraterrestrial threat, or to test some top-secret technology.
That's a thought-provoking one. It plays into our inherent distrust of authority and the idea that there are things happening behind the scenes that we're not supposed to know about. But why do you think these theories and the Kingman crash itself continue to hold our attention?
I think it's deeply rooted in human nature. We crave explanations for the things we don't understand. And the Kingman crash gives us this tangible mystery to grapple with, a real-world event that allows us to explore the vast unknowns of the universe. It's a story that touches on our deepest fears and desires, and the lack of a definitive answer just keeps the mystery alive.
You know, it makes you wonder if the government intentionally keeps things vague. Could it be that they want us to speculate and debate, keeping us distracted from the real truth? Or maybe, just maybe, there's a reason they've kept some details under wraps all these years. What do you think?
It's certainly a possibility. The idea of a calculated disinformation campaign, a way to control the narrative and prevent widespread panic or unwanted scrutiny, it's a theme we see in a lot of conspiracy theories. But we have to remember that a lack of transparency doesn't automatically equal malicious intent.
Right.
I mean, there could be legitimate national security concerns at play.
Right. There's always that balance between keeping the public informed and protecting sensitive information. It's tricky, for sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of information, what about those declassified documents? Could they offer any clues or insights into the government's actions and motivations?
They certainly provide a glimpse behind the curtain. While they are heavily redacted, they do confirm that multiple government agencies investigated the Kingman incident. What's interesting is the language used.
Okay.
They repeatedly refer to the object as unidentified, even after concluding it was likely a weather balloon, almost as if they were leaving room for doubt.
Hmm. Almost like they're hedging their bets.
Yeah.
And what about the parts that are still classified? What kind of information could be so sensitive that it needs to remain hidden after all these years?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It could be technical data, communication intercepts, or even witness testimonies that contradict the official narrative. We can only speculate, but the very existence of these classified documents fuels the imagination and keeps the debate alive.
It's like they're dangling a carrot in front of us, offering just enough information to pique our curiosity, but withholding the key pieces that could unlock the truth. It's no wonder this incident has become such a breeding ground for conspiracy theories.
Absolutely. The lack of a definitive answer creates a vacuum that's quickly filled by speculation and conjecture. And the Kingman crash has it all: strange lights in the sky, mysterious objects, a swift military response, and whispers of a government cover-up.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for an enduring mystery.
And it's not just government secrecy that adds to the intrigue. You mentioned earlier the vivid imagery used by eyewitnesses. Descriptions of the object as metallic, round, and shiny have become almost synonymous with the classic flying saucer image we see in movies and TV shows.
It's fascinating how pop culture has influenced our perception of UFOs. Those iconic images, often based on little more than anecdotal accounts, have shaped our collective understanding of what an extraterrestrial spacecraft might look like.
It makes you wonder, could our preconceived notions about what a UFO should look like actually influence how eyewitnesses remember events? Could they be filling in the blanks with images they've seen in movies or read about in books?
That's a very real possibility. We know that memory is a reconstructive process, not a perfect recording of events. Our brains constantly filter and interpret information, and those interpretations can be influenced by our beliefs, expectations, and even cultural biases.
So, in a way, we could be creating our own UFO narratives, shaping the story to fit our pre-existing beliefs. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Precisely. And that's why it's so important to approach these accounts with a critical eye. We need to separate the genuine observations from the embellishments and interpretations that may have crept in over time.
But even if we strip away some of the fantastical elements, there's still a core mystery at the heart of the Kingman crash.
Oh, absolutely.
Something unexplained happened in the Arizona desert that day, and for many people, the lack of a definitive answer is more compelling than any official explanation could ever be.
I think you're right. The unknown holds a certain allure. It sparks our imagination, it challenges our assumptions, and it forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge. And in a world that often feels predictable and mundane, the Kingman crash offers a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility of something truly extraordinary.
It reminds us that there are still mysteries out there, things that science and logic can't fully explain, and that's a powerful concept. But what about those who believe they have the answers? Over the years, countless theories have emerged attempting to explain the Kingman crash.
Right.
Some are more plausible than others, but they all tap into our desire to make sense of the unknown.
Let's dive into some of those theories, shall we?
Yeah.
One that often surfaces is the idea of a staged crash, but not by extraterrestrials. The theory posits that the U.S. government orchestrated the entire event using advanced technology to create the illusion of a UFO crash.
A false flag operation, but to what end? What would they gain by staging such an elaborate hoax?
The motivations are often debated. Some believe it was a way to test new aircraft or propulsion systems, gauging public reaction without revealing the true nature of the technology. Others suggest it was a psychological operation, a way to instill fear of an extraterrestrial threat and justify increased military spending.
That's a chilling thought, using the fear of the unknown to manipulate public perception and advance hidden agendas. But how plausible is this theory? Is there any evidence to support it?
There's no smoking gun, no irrefutable proof that points to a staged crash. But proponents of the theory point to inconsistencies in the official narrative, unexplained details in eyewitness accounts, and the persistent rumors of recovered debris that doesn't match any known earthly technology.
It's like a puzzle with missing pieces, isn't it? We have these intriguing clues, but we're lacking the key elements that would allow us to see the complete picture. And that brings us back to the question we posed earlier. If you were investigating the Kingman crash today, where would you start? What kind of evidence would convince you of an extraterrestrial explanation?
That's a challenging question. I'd be looking for tangible evidence that defies conventional explanation. Material analysis of recovered debris that demonstrates properties not found in any known element or alloy. Electromagnetic readings that point to an energy source beyond our current understanding. And perhaps most importantly, corroborated eyewitness accounts from credible sources detailing observations that cannot be dismissed as misidentification or fabrication.
So essentially, we need evidence that goes beyond the realm of speculation and firmly establishes the presence of something truly alien. But what about those who believe the answer lies not in advanced technology, but in something even more extraordinary? Interdimensional beings or time travelers?
Ah, yes. Those theories that take us beyond the realm of conventional science and into the realm of the paranormal. The Kingman crash, with its inherent mystery and lack of concrete answers, has become a magnet for those seeking explanations beyond the mundane.
And it's easy to see why. These theories, while often lacking in tangible evidence, offer a sense of wonder and possibility that traditional explanations simply can't match. They tap into our fascination with the unknown and our desire to believe that there's more to the universe than meets the eye.
Exactly. The Kingman crash, like many other unsolved mysteries, serves as a blank canvas onto which we can project our hopes, fears, and wildest imaginations. It becomes a reflection of our own beliefs and our own yearning for something extraordinary.
You know, as we've been discussing all these different theories, I keep thinking about how much our understanding of UFOs has been shaped by what we see on TV and in movies.
Yeah, it's true. That image of the classic flying saucer, the sleek metallic disc with the glowing lights, it's so ingrained in our culture.
It really
It's
is.
almost become the default for what people think a UFO should look like.
Exactly. And that makes me wonder, is it possible that those pop culture images are actually influencing eyewitness accounts?
Hmm.
Are people seeing what they expect to see rather than what's actually there?
It's a fascinating question. It's one that psychologists have been studying for years. We know that our perception of the world is heavily influenced by our prior experiences, beliefs, and expectations.
Right.
So it's not unreasonable to think that someone who grew up watching movies about flying saucers might be more likely to interpret a strange light in the sky as a disc-shaped craft.
It's almost like we're primed to see UFOs in a certain way, even if the reality is something totally different.
Precisely. And that's why it's so important to approach these eyewitness accounts with a healthy dose of skepticism. We need to consider the context, the individual state of mind, and the potential influence of cultural narratives.
So how do we separate genuine observation from imagination? What can we do to ensure that we're not just seeing what we want to see?
Well, one important factor is corroboration. If multiple witnesses who haven't had a chance to discuss their experiences with each other all report seeing the same thing, that lends a lot more credibility to the account.
Right, the more independent accounts we have that align with each other, the stronger the evidence becomes.
Exactly. And it's also important to consider the witness's expertise. Someone with a background in aviation or astronomy, for example, might be more reliable in identifying an unusual aerial phenomenon than someone with no such experience.
So in a way, it's about filtering the data through multiple lenses, looking at it from different perspectives to get a clearer picture of what might have actually happened.
Precisely. And even then, there's always a degree of uncertainty. We can never be 100% certain about anything, especially when we talk about events like the Kingman crash, where we're dealing with limited information and conflicting accounts.
That's the challenge, isn't it? We're trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces, and there's always the possibility that we'll never have the full picture.
That's true, but that doesn't mean we should give up on the search for answers.
Right?
Every piece of evidence, every new perspective brings us a little closer to understanding. And even if we never find that definitive proof, the process of exploration itself is valuable.
I think you're right. The Kingman crash and all the mystery surrounding it is a reminder that there's still so much we don't know about our world and the universe beyond.
And that's something to be excited about, isn't it? The unknown is full of possibilities, and who knows what we might discover if we keep an open mind and keep asking questions.
Well said. It seems like we've come full circle, back to that sense of wonder and possibility that we started with.
And that's the beauty of exploring the unknown. It's a journey that never truly ends. There's always something new to discover, something new to ponder.
So for all of you listening out there, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep looking up at the stars.
Who knows what mysteries are waiting to be uncovered?
And until next time, keep an open mind and keep searching for the truth wherever it may lead you.
See you on the next deep dive.